Hi guys and girls, and welcome back to Zenith Minis. My name is Greg and this is episode 16 of Build and Paint, the hobby show where you pick the model and we build and paint it. So a bit of a recap, a couple of weeks ago we painted up the Plasma Caliver for the Ranger and we painted the plasma coils a nice hot pink. But in hindsight and kind of comparing the colours next to the pink we painted on the robes of the Ranger, I just felt the colours blended in a bit too much. So what I did is I went back, I stripped the Plasma Caliver, and for today's tutorial I'm going to show you how to paint blue plasma coils. First up, you'll need to paint the plasma coils and anything else blue with Baharoth blue. Here I'm using a size 1 brush, and you can find a full breakdown of all the products that I've used in this tutorial in the description below. Next, you'll need to shade the 3 power cells using a wash of Sotek Green. Sotek Green is of course a layer paint, so in order to create the wash you'll need to mix around about 1 part paint to 4 parts medium. Then create a white scar wash using the exact same method as we've just been through, and you'll want to cover all the plasma coils, making sure that the white rests at the bottom of the coils rather than the top. Now we're going to need to create a glaze of Baharoth blue, so around about 1 part paint to 2 to 3 parts medium, and we'll need to start layering this onto the power cells. Even though the consistency of our glaze mix is similar to the wash, you can see there's a lot less paint on the brush and the target area is smaller. Once you're done with the Baharoth blue, we are moving on to white scar, and we need to create another glaze mix using the exact same ratio of paint to medium as we've just been through, and you'll want to aim this glaze at around about the central point of each of the power cells. Now that we're done with the power cells, we are moving on to the coils. So firstly we're going to paint the white scar glaze that we've just created between each of the coils, focusing on making the bottom as white and as bright as possible. Then you'll need to glaze Baharoth blue over the raised coils, aiming to create a smooth transition between the blue and the white at the bottom. Remember, if you need to even things out with your blend, you can always return to the previous colour and just feather it over that transition point to just smooth things out. Next, start to darken the top of the coils using a glaze of Temple Guard blue, and because the glazes we're using are thin and transparent, you'll need to build up several layers, but each one should dry quite quickly. Once you're done with the Temple Guard blue, start to glaze Sotek Green at the corner of each coil. As glazes are just semi-transparent versions of the base paint, it is a great way to build up transitions and blends using multiple thin layers. And finally glaze a spot of Stegodon Scale Green at each corner point. And once you're done, the blue blends on the coils are complete. As a final touch, why not add a small spot of white scar at the top of each coil, and that just makes them look extra glossy. Now that we're done with the coils, we are moving on to that subtle glow from the plasma, and this needs, you guessed it, more glazing. To start, you'll need to glaze Sotek Green on the metal casing around the plasma and start to feather it towards the outside of the gun. Next, glaze Temple Guard blue around the edges closest to the plasma. Then go back to your Sotek glaze mix and use it to soften the Temple Guard. All you need to do here is start to paint on top of the Temple Guard blue and then start feathering outwards like we've done previously. The final step is to add a spot of white to each of the edges that'll catch the light coming from the plasma. And with that, you will have finished that white hot plasma glow, and you'll probably have become experts in glazing as well. Guys, that is the end of today's episode. Really hope you've enjoyed. If you have, drop me a like, leave a comment, let me know what you think, but don't forget to subscribe as well. And when you do, make sure you click the bell icon, because that just means you'll be notified every time I upload brand new content. And it also means you're in with a chance of winning a new box of Skitarii Rangers when the series comes to an end. And in all honesty, I think we're only like one episode away now from the end of the series, so really looking forward to getting those arms finished next week, as well as assembling the model. And then we've got to choose what the next model will be for the second series of Build and Paint. So I really hope you'll join me for that. But until next time, thank you for watching, take care, and I'll see you then.